Yeah, computer. All right. Welcome everybody to our second Connect Collaborate group exhibition. This exhibition is of artists that we at Shoebox have worked with through our 6-month workshop. And so it's so exciting to see all the work, come together. And, you can, I will share the links and I will be sharing the page as we go through the exhibition, and the artists will be talking about their work. And you can go back and read the artist statements and bios and learn more about the artists. And but some fantastic work. I was so excited when all the work came in, and to see what everybody shared. So yeah, so like I said, with that, what I'll do is I will share the screen, and the artists that are here, we'd love to, if you want to share for a couple minutes on the work and what you're up to, and yeah, just so we can hear in your own words. So let me see, let me share my screen here. All right. Oh, get out of there. Let's see. I am waiting. Oh, I hate that. Okay. There we go. All right. And I don't think Aazam is here. Trying to be able to see everybody. So yeah, the exhibition just came together. I love seeing all the new work that everybody's doing. Adeola, you are here. So,
yes.
Oh, there we go. My internet is a little slow up here too, so it may take just a second, especially since I'm on Zoom here. So, but yeah, Adeola, do you want to talk about this new series?
Yes. Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, now we can.
Okay, great. Yes. So I'm for those people that do not know, I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria, and as part of being from Nigeria, I'm of the Yoruba tribe. And in the Yoruba, we have a lot of traditions, we have a lot of culture, and one of them has to do with the Yemoja, because we have a traditional religion before the Western religion came to Africa. And the Yemoja is supposed to be the bearer. And so this series, when Christine said we were going to be having a show, I was already working in the series, and I felt it was a perfect series for me to share. It is a mixed media digital collage where I actually had the photo shoot done of me, because a lot of times when they have Yemoja's ceremony and celebration, a lot of even outside of Lagos, Nigeria, in South America, they wear white, and it's one of those prominent things to represent purity of Yemoja. So I did the photo shoot first, and then after the photo shoot, I took those images and started to compose it and create the series that you're looking at. I'm not sure if you were moving along as I was talking. So this one here was showing reference in 3 lights of coming through, because Yemoja has a lot to do with nature. And here you see my image as rooted with the overlapping of trees, and which can represent 3 of lives. And in this piece is really facing, there's a lot of movement. And when you in the Yemoja trance, you might want to call it a celebration, there's always movement. And that movement, it's a sense of devotion, it's a sense of spirituality, reaching out to the higher God or deities. So I just had a lot of take on it, in the different forms of reaching out, and hear that behind every one of the Omo Yoruba, there's always the Yemoja, the dietary. And this is the one that actually shows, because she's considered to be like a mermaid. And from there coming, and she was in charge of being the creator of all the other deities or the other gods, like Shango, Oshun, and things like that. And in this one, this has the effect of being in on the ground, in the ocean or river or whatever, it gives you a sense of being inside water. And so overall, I did about, I think 8 in the series. And it's a series that I think I will continue to explore because there's so many possibility, maybe bringing other deities and other gods into play with the composition.
I love when you look at them all together like this. They're really lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adeola. Wonderful series. All right, let's move on. Let's see. I don't think I saw Adrienne here. Let's see. Arella is here.
Hello.
Hello. So tell us about the series.
Okay. So this series here of portraits is I called it Solace in the Terrain. And all of them have either some pieces of maps collaged on, or they're completely, of maps collaged on them. And then the painting that I do, I work in acrylics and oils, and sometimes mark making and other mixed media. And so this one, for instance, is a compilation of 2 different maps. This one here is on a single map. So yeah, I do these portraits or figurative paintings on maps. And this one in particular here is called Homeland Glow. And it's about a person finding finding a place that they feel at home. So a lot of my work is about finding peace, contemplation, meditation, and also restoration. And I'm really inspired by nature, especially mountains and trees. And I just love the discovery of these 3D raised relief maps, topical relief maps, because they give me instant texture to work with and to respond to and to build off of. I use these maps. This one, though, is not a 3-dimensional piece. So this one and one other are a little more flat. But if you zoom into this one, it still has like this one has a map of LA, and then moving up to the top above her elbow is kind of where I live, with the San Gabriel Mountains in the Pasadena area. And yeah, so those are the kind of things that I'm exploring. And I mean, my dad makes imagery for maps. I can kind of see why I'm drawn to do this. I'm starting to see that. I love aerial views and looking down on the earth. I'm just so inspired by that. And and I think that I had a very tumultuous home, a sense of safety, sense of security is really important to me, and something I'm always exploring in my work. And the other thing that this one used to be called Determined. But yeah, the last one, Determined, but I realized that it's kind of the start of a new series where I'm exploring like the original people and the garden and the first humans, like the Garden of Eden type of place. And so, yeah, that's going to be my next series.
Awesome. I think there's a little bit of lag, so I apologize, whether it's my internet or yours, or we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we have to put a shameless plug in. Arella did a piece of me like this, and Perceive Me, opening at Coastline Art Gallery, September 23rd is the reception, 5 to 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Wonderful.
So that one's called In the Right Place.
And remind me, well, I'll try and remember, but a friend just sent me a picture of, it was like a 3D digital or virtual photo of like Cuba and all of the islands, and it shows how deep the ocean is. And it reminds me of these. I know, they're so cool. So I'll just send you that picture.
Yeah, please do. Please send me that. That's great.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Arella. Wonderful work.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
All right. I don't think Beth was here, is she? Let's see. Nobody's in the waiting room. I'm trying to keep an eye on that. I want to make sure that we get everybody here. We can always go back if she comes in. And I don't think Candice is here. If you have a chance, Candice has videos. Go back and watch the videos. They're a lot of fun. Let's see. And Corisa is here. All right, Corisa. She was here. Are you here, Corisa?
Hi, sorry, I'm here.
Oh, that's okay.
Let's see. So I've spent this year trying to process lockdown and the pandemic, and I started doing this by developing this technique with thread across abstracts. And I was thinking of it as really binding color and scarring color. And it really just created a really interesting texture. And I wanted to take that further. So I just started doing a lot of exploration, and I was thinking about tension and also nostalgia. Like I was raising my child through lockdown, and thinking about what was lost for her during that time. And Cat's Cradle popped up in my mind. So I went from doing the thread on abstracts to creating hands playing Cat's Cradle, and I just really love the tension that comes from the game. The game itself is about keeping tension. And I've done it they're all diptychs so far. So I'm threading the Cat's Cradle thread through the canvas across the two paintings. And yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
Awesome. These are fun. I mean, they're definitely nostalgic. I remember playing Cat's Cradle as a kid, but I don't know, it would probably come back like riding a bicycle. I'd probably remember how if I did it again.
Yeah, the funny thing is, my daughter's never actually played, and she saw me making these paintings. And so I said, oh, I'll teach you how to play. And we got through like a couple of rounds.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, well, what's the point of the game, right? Like, what is the point of the game? And I actually had to look it up, and they were saying that that it's who, I hate to say who loses, but if you can't make another image or cradle, then you're the loser. But who can't make another one? You know, I mean, that's kind of the joy of the game.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Corisa. I love this new series and can't wait to see what you do with it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Eva-Marie, I know you're here. She's still here?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, great. So tell us about this work.
I almost feel like saying, oh, you guys have already seen this. This is the beginning of, I'm hoping, a series exploring aging and how gravity and just how, I guess, we feel about ourselves. It could be just me, but when I talk to my girlfriends and kind of my work associates, everyone kind of has a little bit of an angst towards aging, some more than others. I went more into the flower because I didn't want to be so literal, because when I hit menopause, I will say it was kind of a point in my life where I realized all of a sudden I can't have babies anymore. And I was starting to question my sexuality as a woman and just how people would perceive me now that I'm middle-aged. You know, it's almost like, can people see what I'm going through? So instead of being so literal, I became a little bit more subtle with the flowers, because I thought, how are you going to show an aging uterus? Do you just kind of like take a picture of my aging uterus and stick it on film? So I wanted to be a little bit more subtle. The eye shot was kind of things I was feeling as I was kind of going through menopause, and I really had no clue, because the doctors were telling me everything's good, your blood work's great, you know you shouldn't be having anything, and I'm like, I feel off the chart cuckoo, like crazy. So I have a big chalkboard I painted in a transition room I have in my kitchen, and I just wrote these words down because they just came to me one day, because I was just feeling kind of just really angry about everything, angry that doctors weren't telling me what I needed to know. I never heard anything from my mom. It was hard to find anything that wasn't crunchy granola. And I really just wanted reality. Like, this is what you're going to feel like. You may feel like shit someday, and some days you're going to feel on top of the world, and it's okay. So I just wrote a bunch of words and took a picture of my eye, because I feel your eyes show your age by the drooping of the eyelid. And, you know, some of us women and men have thinning of the hair, hands show aging. And I had old peonies, and I was like, oh, that's kind of beautiful, because it's beautiful that there's still beauty in aging. So I guess I took it from my, oh, woe is me, sad Eva, to something a little bit more, I'm hoping, beautiful. So the flowers are kind of representation of, to me, a uterus. And I happened to see these pods in my garden, and I thought, oh my God, they look like shriveled up ovaries. So I thought, oh, I'm going to photograph those and make it kind of just representational of a female vagina or uterus. So that's pretty much it. I'm kind of thinking maybe leaning a little bit more into a representational thing of aging, maybe a beauty part of it versus the sad story of it.
We should talk. I'm almost there. I'm in the menopause part, so. Yeah, no, these are beautiful. And it does, you know, just like you said, the using the flowers, you know, it does show the beauty of aging, you know, and even the shrivel up, you know, or ovaries.
Ovaries and fallopian tubes.
Yeah, exactly. There's still a lot of beauty there.
And that's what I'm hoping, because it is. And this was part of the series where, like I had said earlier, all my friends are going through plastic surgery and stuff, and I haven't had anything done to me. And it's kind of when you sit in this room full of these ladies who are beautiful on their own, And then you see that they all had their boobs done. They've all had the mommy lifts, and they've had liposuction and a tuck here and a tuck there. And you're like, damn, am I missing the boat? I've had nothing done. And you sit across and it looks plastic, but they get so much more attention if you want attention. They still turn heads.
Adeola, did you want to comment?
Yes, I have to. I know that you weren't taking comments, but I relate so much that I have a solo show that deal with menopause in November, and asking people to contribute as part of the installation part of it, their experience, and those writings will be in part of the exhibition. So I hope some of you will love to. I'll put it in the shoebox thing. I just started asking people, and I've been getting a lot of people sending me their paragraph or two on what menopause means to them and what their experiences are. So just to shed light on it, to make sure that young people coming along, that they become their own advocate, like Eva-Marie just said, that the doctor weren't, being helpful and stuff. I had someone that shared the same story about how their doctors thought that she was crazy, and then she thought the doctor was crazy and left and go find relief and solution elsewhere. So those kinds of things we need to share more and let people know that, if one doctor or whatever, but that information is about sharing our own personal experience. So I just wanted to say that, so excited that, your piece is in, has to do with that, but I'll post the information in the group.
Awesome.
And I hope some of you.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
And if anybody has questions or wants to comment or anything, please feel free to unmute. And, this is an opening, a reception artist talk. So yeah, you can definitely, definitely ask questions and stuff. But this is a wonderful series. Thank you so much, Eva-Marie.
Thank you.
It is. Woo!
Thank you.
All right, Julie.
Yay, hi.
Hey.
I really evolved one of my series from connectivity to being this fluffy 3D, more vibrant arts. And, again, I can credit that to Christine and the lab to push me into uncomfortable territory, because when I look at my work, I don't see it on a collector's wall. I don't see anything like it in a museum or in a gallery. And it makes me, slow to keep this series going. I do have a solo show in December that I'd like to put this series in, but I need to really work on this series and find a way to make it even more unique. But the class really helped me step outside my comfort zone and, discover that there are individual entities that are larger than life. They're larger than the other people that are in the painting that are connected. And all of these dots, all of these circles are meant to be people interconnected, and how everybody connected during Zoom, via Zoom during the pandemic. And I don't know, I just had so much fun doing it. This is where it all began. This is where I was in a show called Please Touch. And so I wanted to make my work really tactile. I wanted people to touch it. I wanted them to be enticed, by these little sea urchins that were fluffy and sticking out. So that's where that started. And this is a series that I've been really slow to complete because I haven't really been sold on it. I want to see if I can do something that's close to being more marketable. I need to make some money with my art, but it's a fine line between doing what I want to do, what I can do, and what I can see on a client's wall as something that's sellable. So I'm struggling in that area. But the thing about this series compared to previous series is that it's joyful. Like I have paintings that are, are so full of pain to look at for me because I was in such a state of, trauma that I don't know. It just, it's nice to look at these and just feel pure joy. So yeah, I'm going to continue the series. I'm going to show it in December, but at the same time, I found a new direction that I want to pursue. So I'll have to see if I have it within myself to do so.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julie. And I already have some ideas, so we'll definitely talk.
Thank you.
Show and but you're already pushing yourself, and these are, I love the direction that you're going. So I can't wait to, hear what else you have in mind.
Yay! I'm so excited about that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Let's see. I don't think Lori's here. And that these, yeah, this work is really wonderful of Lori's too. Sean Michael is here.
Yep, that's me.
Hey. All right. Tell us about this series.
Okay, so recently I've been trying to figure out how I want to go ahead and do some sculpting. I've been, looking around because myself, I'm allergic to a lot of things. So I had to avoid ceramics. So, and I wanted to work with plaster, resin, and a lot of those, some things similar to that. And recently I had used
Christopher's Garden.
Recently used Christopher Garden, and that really helped me work on the anatomy of the body. So
Okay, we're going to continue. So this one in particular, this has one that I felt I needed to share. I felt a calling to share this one in particular. It's wire and plaster, as well as some paint, acrylic paint. And I really enjoyed wiring this one up. I really enjoyed using the wire. I have it here to show you. I did. I really liked that part. Winding it, and I did that recently. And then the plaster, among different things, that's always been fun. I think that that has kind of guided me and followed what I've been doing as a response to the tactile type of sculptures that I've seen. So this one I wanted to share because I look at the earth as kind of disintegrating, for lack of a better word, and I felt a responsibility to take care of it. And as humans, we should. And so that is part of the work that I did in my sculpture. So I thought it was cool. And I enjoyed this series. I've really enjoyed working on this series. It's called, hold on one second for the interpreter. He used a sign for it, and we're trying to make sure we get the word correct. He said, I forgot what I've used it for. I forgot what the sign, what the English word would be equivalent. Anyway, it is the plaster and then paint with watercolor, as well as the wiring. And I very much enjoyed it. And this one is called Storage, meaning family, a Greek word meaning family love of family. Think of a dad and a baby. I noticed they had this is the sign I love you, and it's pointing towards the baby, right? So that's just an indicator of sign language. Baby is sitting in his arms. Yep, it's a representation of the baby. And if you look from a different view, you can see there's a lighter blue mixed with a white that was pinned in, which I thought was cool. And there's no gender identity associated with the sculpture. This one is a necklace. You could wear it as a necklace, or it could be a frame. I call it tiny clothes art. Yeah. And the name, someone had told me, someone told me that that's what it should be called. I've enjoyed this series. This one is called DA Proud or DA Pride. And it's the copper brace supporting it as a foundation, as well as the ball. That's a big ball of head. Mental. Yep, but essentially it's called disability pride, being proud of your disability. Not being embarrassed or shameful, but being proud. And if you notice, the anatomy also has a disability their arm, the sculpture on that left side of the arm is missing. It's wrapped with the wire and the resin. And it's the symbol, fuck you, but then also the hand stopping the other person. And that's often just a representation of what doctors have done. Basically, people that have a disability saying, hey, it is okay. And we've had struggles with the anatomy that have been associated with their body, and it's their choice to do what they want with it. Yeah. And it's also related to a recent a legal situation, which can happen. It's normal. And there's no gender associated with this sculpture either. It's a big, beautiful person, larger size person, maybe someone who's got a booty. Beautiful person.
Oh, these are lovely, Sean Michael. Thank you so much. They are so expressive, and I want to see them bigger. But, you know, I know we can only do what we can do.
I know these are just small sculptures, and I do plan this month to try to do about a third in a little bit bigger sizes. My goal is to eventually do life size, if not bigger. So we're moving on that. That is my goal, and I have yet to reach that.
Well, I just love how you experiment with so many things and see what works, you know, what works for you, especially, you know, with like your allergies and all of that. And, you know, I hope this is going to be something that you'll stick with and keep going. I can see a huge body of work with these, so they're wonderful.
Thank you. Yes, the bigger sculptures, I will be using more of a foam for the, I guess, centerpieces, which I have done in the past, use the foam. And then once I use the foam, I will cover that with plaster, with whatever color I choose.
Awesome, that sounds great. Definitely keep an eye out on what you do. Share on social media.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Will do.
All right, let's see. We have Susan. I don't remember. Was Susan here? I don't think Susan is here. Let's see. Not that Susan. And then let's see. And if you didn't see, this series was also in a solo show at Tag Gallery. And it was interactive where you could leave your own statements, which was really cool. Suzanne is here.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So through the whole process of this last 6 months, I've been sort of in this, I've been at the culmination of this 5-year process of moving to a whole new state. And, my paintings are kind of about what my experience of moving to the country is like. When I was a kid, I grew up in the middle of Pennsylvania. So I kind of grew up in the country, but I grew up in town because it was university, it was a college town, and we were surrounded by the country. And, as a kid, we used to, my dad had summers off and we would drive around and, just seeing the mountains. And I always fantasized about living in the country. And my parents had friends that we used to visit. I had particularly a friend who was an artist. And I just, I think that really stuck with me, like through my life, that, I wanted to live in the country and paint. And, it's funny because I think out of all of us, I'm one of few painters. And, I've always tried to get, try to be more abstract or do, try different media, do more mixed media. I've done digital stuff, and I always come back to painting and painting representationally. And I've been thinking a lot about like why. For me, it's two things. It's, on the physical side, I really like the connection. This was not plein air, but this was plein air. The physical connection of my eyes and painting and seeing something in front of me and creating something that's an expression, but it evokes a sense of that place. And I've had to, I went to art school in the 80s, and I've gone through periods of painting and periods of not painting. And so like I've been relying on YouTube to like relearn how to mix paint and stuff. But it's been a great experience. So the first part is like for me, it's that tactile experience and the physical experience of the, connecting the brain and the body and the physical reality. But I also think for me, it's a way of creating a relationship with this place that I'm new to. And it's also a way of establishing a presence for myself here. Since I started coming to this area, I'm way out in the country where I live, but since I started coming to this area, I've just been like pulled into this crazy group of like very active, productive artists. And I just feel like it just keeps getting, more interesting. And so I feel like I'm in the right place. Still trying to figure everything out, but I've really enjoyed working on these. And I didn't paint the whole time I was in the Shoebox workshop. I was inspired by a lot of things that people said and did and wanted to try things. And I just was so consumed with the whole moving and everything. But I'm really, really glad that I stuck with doing the Shoebox lab, because when I came out of it and when I got a little time here, I just kind of felt like it, once I got set up a space for myself to work, I just got right back into it. And I feel like it really helped to be part of this group. So thank y'all.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And it's so great to see all of your work in one space like this. And I love the texture and, the color of the figures and the expression. And No, really, really great series. And I can't wait to see you do more now that you're moved and, and following you on social media. It's so cool to see all the artists that you're finding in the community, where you are now. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's been awesome. So I'm looking forward to, I have like so many showing opportunities. I met a woman who is opening a local food market, and I'm in the middle of the country and it's a food desert. It's ridiculous. It's like, you can't get local food here. So she's opening a local food market and I'm putting up landscape paintings there. So yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. I don't think Sya's here. Talia's here. Let's see. All right, Talia.
Okay. Hi, everyone. As many of you know, I did not go to art school, but I come to my art from a background in depth psychology, which is the study of the unconscious, and as an expressive arts facilitator, specifically focusing on process painting, which is interested in the creative process more so than the product and what comes up for us emotionally, psychologically, and even physically when we encounter a blank canvas or a blank page, and then how we work through whatever comes up. So in my own explorations with process painting, I realized just how soothing and regulating for my nervous system it was to create with my hands in a particular way. Because I struggle with sensory processing challenges and sensitivities. So I'm always trying to find the best way to regulate my system. And what I found is that engaging with nature and creating art are the most regulating for me. So I began this work, which, as you can see, is inspired by nature in some capacity or another, and is a combination of acrylic, pen, and torn paper mosaic collage, which is a very tactile experience for me that calms my nerves. I love simplicity and repetition. So I used simple outlines for structure and containment, and the repetition of small details for the contemplative and meditative value that they bring to both the process for me and the finished pieces. Also, I'm very into creative reuse and eco art. So for these pieces, I use paper that I either found at creative reuse stores, in old magazines that I got at Friends of the Library stores, and from packaging from deliveries, which is a lot of the craft paper that you see in the images. And then throughout the pandemic, I worked very slowly on my largest, most recent piece, which is called On a Full Moon. And that I used the tactile tediousness of the process as a way to soothe my nerves and anxieties about all of the political and environmental and public health crises that have been happening during this time. So it was a wonderful process for me. Thank you.
And I love how you talked about these in terms of your tiny house, smaller, just the perfect size.
That's right, on my stovetop, which is my workspace in my tiny house. Yes.
Yeah. No, these are wonderful. And I could see when you show them, and we may have talked about it, so that could be where the idea is coming from, but of actually showing like real life plants and stuff, and having a whole environment, and then selling those for charity or something like that. That could be really cool. But no,
Definitely.
These are lovely. And especially when you see them all together like this. I was looking at the exhibition and I'm like, yeah, so I can't wait till you have a big show and you're showing them all together.
Thank you so much.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
And I don't think Tony's here. It's cool to see his maps all together too. And I think and I don't think Wendy's here either, is she? Let's see. I don't think so. I think that's it. And then I know it's funny, I saw Marta's here and I'm like, wait, where's Marta's work? But she was in the lab before. I'm like, I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anybody. But thank you for coming, Marta, and supporting. And thank you all to all the artists so much. I mean, it's, you know, again, it's so great to see all your work together like this and to hear you talk about process and where the work comes from, and you know, and hopefully, you know, definitely go and look at the exhibition. And in fact, let me see, I will post the link again in chat. And yeah, and look at, you know, the work by the other artists who weren't able to be here. And I'll just scroll through one more time so everybody can kind of get an idea. It's, you know, I just love that, you know, the creativity and the expression, and this is like how we communicate, you know, through the amazing, you know, presentation of art in many, many different ways, you know, and how we're all different. Yeah, these are just wonderful series. And again, go back and watch the videos too if you can. They're short, they're not too long. And congratulations to everybody who has shows coming up. That is so awesome. I think Adrienne was the first. Oh wait, no, Adeola was the first. All right. And oh yeah, let's see. I think that was, oh yeah, Aazam was the first. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. So yeah, that's it. So thank you so much, everybody. It's been so great to get to know everybody over the last 6 months and to see all the work come together, and definitely look forward to following you, you know, and seeing, you know, what you continue to do. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Christine.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
everybody.
I'm gonna miss you all.
Yeah.
Same.
We'll follow each other on social media if you should all be, but and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you, you too.
You're welcome.
Hope people stay in touch.
Yep.
And I will see.
Yep.
Thank you. See you soon, Corisa.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.